Hello everyone and welcome back to the Citadel of Chaos. When we last left off, we just lost consciousness after losing a battle to some unseen beast. Let's see if we're still alive, and if so, then how we wake up. We awake and look around. As our memory returns, we are amazed that we can see. Our leg feels tender, but it is uninjured. We hear a small chuckle coming from above us, and suddenly the whole thing makes sense. Floating above us is Osimus, now laughing loudly. This whole thing has been one big practical joke. Thank God we didn't burn any spell scrolls on this. We are enraged and leap to our feet, but as we glare at the funny little man rolling about in the air in hysterics, we can't help but see the funny side too. We chuckle, then giggle, then laugh loudly. For some time the two of us roar with laughter until tears stream down our faces. Well, all's well that ends well, I guess, at least that. When we are both able to control ourselves, we eventually settle down to chat. He is a pleasant little man. Before we leave, he says, "Indeed, you are a good sport. Your way ahead is fraught with danger, though. But perhaps these will help ya." With a wave of his hand, a sword and a plate appear on the table. The sword is a magic battle sword and increases our skill by 1 point during battle. That's great. The plate is, in fact, a silver mirror of fine workmanship. We take these with us, but we will have to leave our old sword behind. No loss there. We bid Osimus farewell and leave the room. Alright, so Osimus took 1 skill point off us, but he was generous enough to give it back as well, and if we ever get a chance to refill our skill level, which we theoretically could do right now with the scroll of skill, but let's just hold on to that for now. Then we could have a skill level of 11. We can do this anytime, so no need to burn it now. Maybe we'll lose more skill points in the course of this adventure. So let's just keep on that for now. And we have our magic battle sword listed here as well. We also have the silver mirror. Interestingly, this magic battle sword is weaker than the enchanted sword we found in the previous adventure, but whatever, we'll take what we get. Well, we are back to the decision of which door to leave by, and nothing's changed, so I'm going to leave by the brass handle door. Again, we don't really have any information on what's beyond, but we know, or at least Osimus has told us, that 2 of the paths are dangerous and 1 is stinky. So hopefully we will find the stinky option. Let's go. Outside the door, the passage slopes downwards, and we follow it for several minutes. We notice an unpleasant smell, which gets stronger and stronger as we go. Eventually, we come to an opening. Looking through it, holding our nose, we can see a large open sewer flowing across the passageway. A rope hangs down from the ceiling. Alright, seems that we took the correct option, even though it must be disgusting. It is the stinky one, and presumably it's less dangerous than the other options. So far so good. Now we need to cross this open sewage channel, and we have 2 options. We could grab the rope and swing across, but we're not going to do that, even though the other option is quite revolting. We will actually wade across the river and the sewer. The reason we are not grabbing the rope is simple. I don't think it's meant to do, so it's either a trap, or at the very least it's some kind of alarm system, and we are not going to fall for this. Crossing the sewage should be at least safe, if not very pleasant. We hold our nose and step forward into the slimy water. A couple of steps in, we feel a pulling on our leg. Oops. Lifting it out of the water, we find that some sort of vine has coiled itself around our leg. We leap back to the bank and the vine remains fixed. From out of the water, one end of the vine rises, moves around in the air as if looking at us, then falls black with a splash. We realize that this is not actually a vine but a long sewer snake, which is now pulling itself towards us. We will need to fight the sewer snake in order to cut ourselves free. Otherwise, we could try employing the use of a spell scroll. This creature is probably more dangerous than it seems at first glance. It's a very long snake, very long, very thin snake, and sewer snakes are somewhat magical in this universe. So instead of battling it directly, which is not advisable, we are going to employ the use of our one and only Mage's Fire spell scroll. This should be a suitable weapon against such an opponent, so let's see if it works. We cast a small fireball directly at the sewer snake, which burns through its body, cutting it into two halves. Okay, so far so good. Both halves now attack us and are crushing our chest. That's bad news. We lose 2 stamina points. Trying a different strategy, we create flames which burn in each hand and rub them all over the snake's coils. The creature twitches violently and releases its grip. We find its head and smother it in our flaming hands, burning it to death. Okay, that's great. We lost 2 points of stamina and we also have consumed our Mage's Fire spell scroll, but we managed to defeat the sewer snake, so we can proceed. We continue our attempt to cross the river. We get across without any further incidents, but we are certainly looking forward to our next bath, and you can say that again. We continue along the passageway until we reach a junction where we can either go straight or take a passage off to the left. No indication where to go, so let's go to the left. That's the first option we have here. Taking the left fork, we follow a path which eventually joins another passageway leading on northwards. We follow this new path for some distance until it eventually widens out. The passageway widens and we are now walking alongside a flowing river. Just ahead, a woman seems to be washing clothes. She has a basket of these clothes beside her, and several sets of long johns are hanging on a line behind her. Alright, this is quite creepy, so somewhere below the Citadel, way underground, a woman is washing long johns. Okay, I'm not sure if this is a trap or some kind of dangerous creature, but fortunately we have an option to use a mind read spell scroll to find out what or who she is. We could otherwise attack her outright, but I'm not sure she's hostile, and besides we should learn about her first. We could also try to talk to her, which is not a bad idea, but let's use a spell scroll and then we can still talk to her, hopefully. We concentrate on her mind and we are shocked to find out that she is not alive as she seems, but she has been dead for many years. Ever since a raging fire, a curse put on her by Balthasar himself for failing to launder his robes in time for an important meeting, burned her and her children to death. Her ghostly body has been doomed to wash clothes for eternity. She is indeed a miserable wretch. Alright, that's quite creepy, but it's quite macabre. But on the other hand, hopefully she is not hostile or dangerous. At least in life she probably wasn't. We still should not anger or attack her. She probably can fend for herself. We now notice that she is growing angry and suspicious with our presence. She is chanting something under her breath. We need to act and fast. Okay, we don't want to engage her, I mean in battle. So we are going to try to talk to her first. We don't need to be hostile to everybody who is in this citadel, and she's clearly not an evil creature. What brings you to these parts? She demands. We tell her our story, carefully avoiding telling her of our real mission. She advised. I wonder what we told her then. I mean, we are here for our mission and our mission alone, so maybe we kept on going with the lie about the about us being a healer or some sort. She advises that if we know any magic, we should flee from this place. The creatures we have met so far do not compare with those we will come across within the Citadel Tower itself. She tells us that we will never meet the Master without finding the fleece first, and bids us luck on our mission. We add 2 luck points for the information we have learned and continue onwards. Okay, that was helpful. She turns out to be quite nice. Unfortunately, we do know some magic, and even more unfortunately, we cannot flee this place. We have not achieved our mission. We haven't even got close to achieving our mission yet. And we learned that we need the fleece. And if you're wondering, a fleece is a kind of a sheepskin clothing or prepared sheepskin practically. So let's continue on. The path runs alongside the river for several meters and then cuts back into the rock. We follow the path for some time. Okay. Some way along the passage, we arrive at a 4-way junction. We take a path to the north, which eventually leads us to a large wooden door. We can hear nothing by listening at the keyhole. Okay, that's right. We are supposed to get to the northernmost part of the compound. We approached once again from the south, which is common to all these adventures, by the way. Pretty common. Well, let's try opening the door slowly and quietly. If it's bugged or if it's trapped, then we'll just take it. No need to resort to violence if we can avoid it. The handle turns and we step into a dark room. Perfect. Again, there was no need to use excessive force. We look around the room. It is lit only by our torch. Although a fairly large room, it has little furniture in it, although a large boulder, sliced flat, resembles a table, and the smaller rock forms a sort of stool behind it. Okay? In one corner, a pile of rocks are held together with mud. We cannot imagine their purpose, although they support 3 wooden chests. Then we jump with fright as our torch lights up a large creature seemingly made of rock itself, standing by a door. It is roughly human-shaped, although somewhat larger. Its eyes are staring straight at us, but we cannot be sure that it's actually seeing us. This room is weird. This is definitely a golem. And I don't know if it's protecting the exit or the passage through. This must be its table and chair. But whatever this is, it's just unusual. With the 3 chests piled on top. Alright, there is no other way, but somehow we get to go through that door. We have to cross this chamber. So what options do we have to do that, to achieve that? We could run, not very clever option. We could try to attempt to speak with the creature, which sounds better, or we could try to move slowly towards the boxes in the corner. So hoping that the creature is kind of asleep or is half blind or something. That doesn't sound very wise, but as a B option I would take it. But first let's try to talk to the creature, see what happens. Probably it is hostile, but at the very least we may still learn something. The creature must communicate in some method unknown to us. Okay, we hail it in all the languages we know, but it continues to stand silently. We decide to make a move towards the center of the room. Okay, that's right, so the creature didn't react, so it must be some kind of passive guardian. I'm positive we will wake it up, but again, there is no other option we can take, so let's proceed. At our first movement, the creature seems to break from its trance and steps towards us. Seeing this, we may either run for the door at the far end of the room or make for the boxes and risk taking on this silent giant. Well, we're here to obtain some kind of, anything, obtain all kinds of items that we can, which could eventually help us in our battle, in our final goal. So I would say let's not run. Running is for cowards. Let's try to see what the boxes have in store for us. The golem, advancing towards us, is a slow-moving creature, and we reach the boxes easily. We curse as we find that they are all locked, quite unsurprisingly. They are chests. As we struggle with the locks, the golem closes in on us. How will we confront this mighty creature? We could try to draw our sword, but this is a creature made of rock, pure rock. Although we do have a magic broadsword, so this might work. But again, this is just a wild guess. We don't have a fire spell, nor do I think it would work that, casting fire on rock. We could run, again, take the cowardly way out, or we could use our creature copy spell. If you recall, we picked up this spell scroll from the cache of the dwarf that we defeated in the courtyard, because we didn't bring along any creature copy spell scrolls. And this sounds like a good idea. We will create an exact copy of this golem to fight on our side, and then we can still decide to either, fight along with it 2-on-1, or just, take a look at the boxes and leave while it's distracted. We don't need to destroy this golem, we just need to get past it. A perfect copy of the golem forms in front of us. We command it to attack the real golem, which is now almost upon us. While our creation distracts the original, we now have a chance to examine the boxes. So this worked out perfectly. I'm very happy with that. While the original golem and the copy fight noisily behind us, we have a chance to peek inside one of the boxes. Which one will we choose? Well, we have the first box, the second or the third box, cleverly named. So let's look at the first box. There is no indication what is the correct order, or if any of them are special in any way. After some struggling, the box opens. Hooray! So this must have been a correct choice. Inside is a silver key. What would we do with it? Try using it on the second box. The key turns, and removing the lock, we open the box to find yet another key, this time cut in a glowing green metal. Okay, I see how this works, so probably the third box contains something, and they set up this stupid little system so that by the time somebody would open it, the slow-moving golem would catch up with them, which is okay, it works, I guess. We managed to outwit this not very complicated system. Okay, so let's open the third box. The key turns, the lock clicks open, and we look inside the box. Inside it is a glass jar, and inside this jar is a spider. But this is not a normal spider. This creature has the face of an old man. He is now talking to us, but we cannot make out what he's saying. A noise startles us, and we spin round to see that the door, the one we came through, is beginning to open. We put the jar in our bag and make for the other door. Okay, so we picked up a weird creature, some kind of spider, man spider or spider man in a jar. Alright. Anyway, let's get out of here. This place gives me the creeps, and there is nothing else left for us to do here. We open the door and step forwards into a passageway which runs eastwards for several meters and then ends at the foot of a staircase. Well, that's not the right direction that we want to take, but at the very least we seem to be climbing now, which is where we want to go, upwards. We climb the stairs and eventually find ourselves in a narrow passageway. A short distance ahead we can see an opening into a large, well-lit room. We press on forwards. The room we are in is some sort of grand dining hall. A long table, large enough to seat some 40 or 50 people, stands in the center, edged with chairs. Various doors and passageways lead from the room, but we are particularly interested in two wide staircases which lead upwards to either end of the balcony overlooking the hall. Paintings and suits of armor decorate the walls, otherwise the room is empty. Okay, so we found the dining hall. This must be on ground level, so we're back up to well, where we were before we were taken down to the dungeons. So progress, I guess. And this is a really big table. It seems like even more than 40 or 50 chairs right here. Alright. I am 100% certain we need to proceed by climbing these stairs and yeah, going on that way. Fortunately, this is empty, so we have some time to snoop around. What would we do? We could try climbing one of the staircases, or we could look at the paintings or the suits of armor. These both sound intriguing, but I'm partial to the paintings. In our last adventure, this was not a great idea, but we also managed to learn something by staring at paintings. So let's see if that is the case here as well. The paintings are portraits of various lords and countesses prominent in the kingdom of Kragan Rock. Behind the chair, at the head of the table, is a portrait of Balthus Dyer himself. He does indeed look like a powerful adversary. We gain 1 luck point for the warning of his appearance, but we lose 1 stamina point for the feeling of fear he instills. Okay, that would normally be a fair trade. Unfortunately, our luck was already at maximum and our stamina was not. So this was for us, this basically means a net 1 stamina point lost, which is fine. We can take it. Unfortunately, we cannot check out the suits of armor for some reason, but we need to climb the staircases, and I'm pretty sure that only one of them is like the correct approach to go. No indication which one, so let's take the right hand for just as a guess. The stairs are well worn and creak under our weight. Cautiously we climb up to the balcony. Okay, so this must have been the correct choice, because they are well used, so they're the ones that are in use at least, or maybe they both were, whatever. This one was okay. Along the balcony there are 3 doors. Which would we like to take? Well, I'd say that we'll decide it next time. This is the first time in our adventure that we are higher than ground level. Not much. We're just on this little elevation in a kind of balcony inside the dining hall. But we managed to get out of the underground caverns, the dungeons, and those creepy tunnels. And we have even managed to, climb a few meters above ground level. So I'd say that's some genuine and impressive progress. And I'm also saying that probably this is where our adventure is going to start to become more, challenging. So this must be the perfect time to make the cut of the video here, catch our breath, and prepare for hopefully the last leg of our adventure, the tower itself. I'm pretty sure we're close to it now, at least to the foot of the tower. And I thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time when we continue right from here. Bye bye.